everybody.
Hey.
Good day.
Adam! Adam, the secret sauce.
The producer. The leader.
Producer.
Hardly.
If
The
he
leader.
doesn't like it, we don't play it.
No. No one plays
If
it.
it's whack, he lets us know.
He has no tolerance for something that he is
the
not.
barometer of the
Yeah,
needle.
it's like, nope, not doing it.
The aesthetic is strong.
Well, I hope that's not a hassle.
No, it's it actually makes things a lot easier. I think.
Perfect. It's
Cool.
so perfect.
Because and it's like anything you throw at you is just gonna always come back. I say it all the time. It comes back better than I thought. Like when I have a concept or something
Oh, he
in my
makes
head,
everything better.
it's just like his interpretation. It's just like,
Yes.
why should I ever tell you anything? Just I'll play it for you, and like what he's gonna spit out is gonna be not what I thought and better. So.
Well, you guys are very sweet. Thank you.
And if he doesn't like it, then you know your idea is whack.
Exactly.
It's easy to play with. But I mean, we're just so like-minded. It's a room full of like-minded people. We're very fortunate.
We are. I mean, you know.
It's not easy to find.
No. And I mean, like, we came in here today just to shoot. There's a couple of live performance things we did, and it's like, we just do it. And there it is.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not.
it's very natural.
Good
how,
word. It is very natural.
how long have you guys been playing together?
What is it, 13 years now? 12?
I have a memory of, Christmas time?
2011.
Christmas of 2011
Yeah.
is when I first jammed.
No, I mean, our first album came out 11/11/11.
Oh, so it was
That's right, I'll never forget it.
So-
So we started, I guess
Okay.
it would have been January of 11 or December of
No,
10.
December of 10.
And that's what
Because
it
he had a band with Kenny Vaughn and Frank Swart called Funk Wrench.
Okay.
That I was a big fan of. That they would play like Miles, Bitches Brew era Miles, where they would show up and just improvise for hours without stopping.
Yeah, it was a cool band.
And I loved, because I'd never seen, you know, like even being from Chicago, like I never saw that,
Right.
like, you know. Like,
Right. Actually, people doing it.
Yeah, and I was really into it, and so either Kenny couldn't make one, or
I don't remember the
Something.
circumstances, but
and Frank reached out to me
Yeah.
through MySpace, and was
that
like,
was still MySpace days. Yeah.
and messaged me and said, "Want to jam?" That was it,
Cool.
and I was like, "Absolutely," and so they booked a gig at the 12 South Tap Room when it was like the place to hang.
Yeah, there's still other music there.
And I like at some point I was like, well, you know, what do you want to, you know, right? Like you
It's
would.
like me going to Maple Leaf with George and Johnny. I was like, no tunes, no set. What? Scare you to death. You're not used to that. It'll scare you to death.
So yeah, I just showed up, and yeah, and I mean it was like it changed my life because it was just like that switch that I'm sure, you know, probably is similar with you when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Going to the juke or something like
Yeah.
that, where it's like the source.
Well, when you
and-
meet a running partner and you know, you're like, oh wow, and, you know, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
And you kind of sense, like in a weird way, sometimes you sense the music that will be made in the future.
Oh,
It's like
absolutely.
as soon as the connection is made, you're like,
Yeah,
you
for
can
sure.
feel
Oh,
the
I was-
potential future.
I was ready that night. I was like, well, this is what I want to do. Because I'd been also, like, it was a weird time in my life where I was like, well, so 2010, so I was 25. So, like, wow. I was, like, sessioning on, like, mainstream stuff all the time, like, every day.
Wow.
It was, like, at the height of me doing that. And playing Downtown with Don, and I was miserable, you know? Like, I knew I wanted to do something that wasn't what I was doing, but
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was going to be.
Mhm.
And so meeting him was, like, the conduit of, like, well, I know I want to do it with him. So,
And you get your yayas on.
yeah, and I mean, it just, you know, changed my life. You know? And I mean, I'm sure, you know, again, I mean, it's like we all reach different crossroads, but it was like, that was a great lesson to learn, I think, at 25, that it's like, because, you know, I moved here with no money, no, you know, no nothing, you know, and really, and it's like, at 25, I was like, well, I'm doing really well and I'm making really good scratch, but I'm fucking miserable.
Right,
It's
right.
like, okay, well, that's good to know that that's not how that happens. You know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, but yeah,
How old were you when you moved here?
20. Right before I turned 21, like a month before.
I love hearing the stories of you and navigating the Nashville scene at that point in time. It's really fantastic.
Oh, thanks, man.
Man, I'm so happy to be your friends.
You're right back at you, man.
dude, like,
It's really
I mean,
cool.
like,
You
because
guys-
I've been listening to you since your first record.
That's crazy.
You know, I mean, I remember buying it from.
Back when you bought records.
Yeah.
you made
seriously, our
you
second
made
record-
like $2-3 off me, man.
It's a whole nother story, but yeah, our second record. I remember some kids said, "Hey, before it came out, our second record. Hey, I ripped your record." I said, "What are you talking about?" It was like the beginning of the end. Like
Yeah.
our first record was It was like right
Yeah.
before MySpace.
Yep.
But so where did you grow up and grow up playing?
I'm from Northeast Ohio. I say Akron because I went to the University of Akron. I was born in Akron, but I'm technically from a little town called North Canton.
That's like me being from Memphis. The hospital was in Memphis.
Right, yeah. The hospital was in Akron.
Right.
College was in Akron, but I grew up in...
The girls were in Akron.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. And I gigged in Akron. There was no
Right.
place to play in North Canton, but no, I grew up in North Canton.
Little town.
Yeah, small town. You know, I don't know the...
Very blue
But I mean, just a lot of playing.
A lot of playing. Well, in that area of Ohio, it's like there were the Canton Bluecoats, Drum and Bugle Corps, University of Akron, Kent State, Cleveland State, a lot of colleges with great music programs. It was just kind of a...
And
For being Akron and Cleveland and Northeast Ohio, you wouldn't think of it, but it was surprisingly a very musically rich
Ohio.
area to grow up
Well,
in,
tell 'em
man,
you're-
especially for drummers.
tell them your
Ohio-
running partners back then. Tell
Oh,
them
it doesn't
Well, it's
matter.
not the Ohio players for nothing. I mean,
Right,
across
right.
the genres,
No, tell 'em
Ohio is strong.
Yeah, it was really
I
strong.
fall in love with them.
Yeah, so it was a cool place to grow up, man. Like being in marching band was not like totally dorky, you know, it was a cool
Right.
thing. I just went through public music education and
That's awesome.
that never stopped. Started playing gigs as a teenager and
Tell
When
them your
you-
running partner. Tell them who you played with.
I used to play with a lot of people. There's a guy named Mike Lenz I played with, Pat Sweeney. I did, Arbach and I played together in the Barn Burners before the Black Keys were a band.
That's cool.
Yeah, so, you know, and a lot of that came from this guy named Jason Edwards, who was the hotshot drummer in the area.
Ooh.
And I was his student.
Awesome.
So I kind of started my whole professional career playing his second tier. He was one of these cats that was always double and triple booked.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he was like, dude, I need a sub that can swing.
So,
And
now,
that was it. Yeah. He's like,
so that leads to my second question. Exactly. Where and when and who, where your aesthetic and your style started forming? Like, you got such a great style.
dude, thank you. I mean, it probably started forming before I even played drums because my dad only listened to oldies radio. So, I mean, before I even had drumsticks in my hand, I had heard nothing but, you know, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and Stevie Wonder and, you know, all the Motown and Stax. I mean, I was in love with Booker T and the MGs and the Bar-Kays. You know what I mean? As a kid. I remember the first time I heard Soulfinger on the radio, I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard, like, you know. And this was when,
I
like,
remember
this
hearing
is
that
when,
as a
like,
kid,
Michael
right?
Jackson and Madonna
Yeah.
and Van Halen, and, you know,
Yeah.
it was the 80s, like, that's
Yeah.
what was ruling MTV and the airwaves,
Right.
but I was digging Hip Hug Her and Soulfinger and, you know, Grazing in the Grass and stuff like that. So I just, yeah, I mean, immediately it was, like, soul, R&B, Motown, like, I love that stuff.
Awesome.
And then when I started playing drums, man, it just kind of continued. But I will remember my 7th grade band director was like, you should listen to Neil Peart and Buddy Rich. I didn't know anything, so I was like, okay. So that also kind of started me down
Boy, that could have ruined
the
everything.
the big band road and the prog rock road.
Both in personality and in playing.
Yeah.
The jerk
Can't deny the influence, but
This guy, he's not my kind of guy.
But you know, that's what led me, you know. I would have probably never discovered Bill Bruford and Alan White playing with Yes, or Zappa, or early Genesis had I not gotten into Rush.
Right.
I probably would have never discovered Miles or Coltrane, or, you know, if I wasn't listening to jazz and big band. You
Yeah.
know, so
And in the young age
it's
too.
just,
It's
yeah,
good.
it just all morphed together, man. You know, and I was good. I remember I was always a math dork, and like rhythmic subdivision made complete sense to me, like right away. So
He's
drums just
he's
it
a
made
chess
lot of
player
sense.
as well, folks. He's
It did make a lot of
pretty
sense,
nasty
like,
with the.
Still
Well, not
practice.
putting you on the spot. Okay, so could I hear? Can you play for me?
Mhm.
Triplet, a set of triplets, a set of quarters, a set of quintuplets, and a group of 6, and then a group of 7, and then a group of 8
Yeah.
in one tempo.
Yeah,
This is my
sure.
new fascination.
You want me to start with quarters and go through the
Yeah.
subdivisions?
Oh,
Okay,
And
so
as a self-taught guitar player, I'm still trying to learn this stuff.
we're going 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s. I don't know if I can do 7 actually.
Come on, you can. You know, if you start slow enough,
You
you
put
can.
me on the spot here. But all right, let's try. I'll give a formal reference here. Okay, so 2, 3. This is the chord note. 4. So we got. Now we go 8. Triplet. Sevens are.
I'm going to watch that shit over and over and over. Because I can feel
let's
it.
see without a metronome how honest that was.
No, we don't have to post that. I mean, if you don't,
Yeah.
This is me at half lesson. But no, I mean, that's my new fascinating thing. Why didn't we learn about 5s and 7s? Why didn't I learn about 5s and 7s? No, it's just.
Well, I'll tell you, dude,
legitimate.
I spent time working on that stuff in my 20s and just bailed on it because even when you execute it properly, it doesn't sound that. It doesn't groove, man. Like,
No, I mean the triplet is.
I kind of go
The triplet-
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. Like
Yeah,
forget
yeah.
the quintuplets and septuplets. Like
Quintuplet, septuplet.
yeah, if you got 16th note triplets, 32nd
But what I
notes.
love are those accents over just steady stream of
Yeah,
16ths.
yeah.
The accent.
Well, but
Well-
that's a different thing. You can play accented groups of 5 notes,
Right.
Right.
but as a 16th note subdivision.
Well,
So
but that's
instead
a-
of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, you get
Right.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So it just
One
crosses
of-
over the bar line.
One of the things that I've I've pointed out in regards to like some records that he's played on that I engineered or produced or whatever, where even when something's straight, like his ghosting is so beautiful that like I may not, as we're tracking, understand what is like, or even like identify what it is, but then I'll like go back and I'll hear it and I'll be like, yeah. Because it's just, you know, it's the nuance. Nuance is it's just that it's not forward, so it's, you know, it a lot. It ends up either not being included, not done, or you don't notice it. It's great, but you don't notice it. And anyway, that's something you're particularly really good at. And his left foot freedom has always been something I've marveled at.
Left foot freedom.
Yeah, his high. A lot of Achilles' heels on drummers, especially jazz drummers, is their control of their left foot. It's usually the most neglected limb.
It's usually a paperweight for most people.
And even great session play, like great musicians, because his has always been so strong. When I work with people, I'm more aware of it, and it's like you see, like when they go to the ride or something like that, if they like let go and like all of a sudden this gets weak or becomes left, and his is so, like you've always had, like I remember Kenny Vaughn saying that even before I really knew him, that like it's like the best left foot freedom I've ever
Well,
seen.
thank you.
So,
God, I didn't waste 10,000 hours of my life working
No, that's that's awesome.
but it's a neglected limb in
Right,
most
right, right.
drummers. But like when you watch Tony Williams and
on it. Oh,
Elton
Tony's
and,
those guys.
and stuff, I mean, it's like they had complete control of it along with everything else,
Right.
and it's that's
It can drastically change the way a groove feels. I mean,
Yeah,
you
right,
know,
it can.
It's just as simple as, okay, let's take something really meat-headed, but the difference in this on quarter notes or 2 and 4 on the and. it's just, yeah, you can completely
Means take out the garbage.
completely change the groove.
All right, that's enough.